What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Nerdy Volume Podcast. And today we're going to be talking about Shazam 2 Fury of the Gods. If you are a new listener, welcome. If you're a returning listener, welcome back. All right. Back to Shazam 2, directed by David Sandberg, and the original cast returns for this amazing sequel. Or is it? Let's dive into it with Brother Leo here. So let's kind of like pick up, pick parts of the show that we liked, and we'll also bring up things that we didn't, so much. But for me, I mean, to be honest, I thought the show.
I thought it was pretty good too.
It wasn't like moments. Yeah. I wasn't like expecting like an end game. I mean, which is what most people expect when a superhero's out, and when a superhero movie comes out, everybody just expecting that tier like. But by the way, movie like you won't get an end game movie like that from a standalone because it's a standalone film. Yeah, where Shazam is just him, and then obviously you have his family members who I believe had different aspect. It's like he was able to split through them, but they all had to him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like they all focused on certain things. I guess all of them had their own names because Shazam, Solomon. What was it?
I think so.
I know there's Apollo, Athena. Oh man, and so like having them all split off, it was really confusing because I thought that they all had specific powers. Like Megan Good's character, I thought she was just speed, but she can apparently fly, and she has super as well. So
Shazam stands for Solomon, Hercules, Atlas,
Hercules,
Zeus.
Hera.
Yeah, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles. Yeah. Who is
in the Greek?
No, Mercury is Mercury is Roman.
That's a Roman god.
Yeah. But it's what's his name? The one with that runs really goes really fast. Yeah, he has speed. Hermes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe.
So yeah, to go off of what each has. See, that's why I didn't really pay attention to the individual things or the individual powers until the very first scene where they all show up, and I'm like, since when did they all fly? I mean, it's when the little girl flew, or Megan Good flew. When she flew, I was just like, I thought she could run. I figured she would run to where everything was going, or to the emergency. Why? why did she fly? But I
think they all Shazam, right? And not
they all have the
power. They're all just smarter than Billy.
Yeah, very much.
Because if there was one thing they all agreed was like, you obviously didn't get the wisdom of Solomon. He might have gotten everything else, but it wasn't wisdom.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, he's kind of not all there. So, think about it. But I mean, like just looking at the movie without having to do too much of a deep dive into how much money was in it, to just kind of just purely go off of what we saw, which is what we're doing right now. For anybody who's trying to like why didn't they know all of this before? We're just kind of diving into it, first time reviewing it. So, just so anybody get any confusion right now, it's only because it's more raw that way, I believe. And then, you can obviously get a better idea of what we think about after doing all that research, but we like the rawness, so looking at all of them do different things, but they can all do the same things. It really confused me in the beginning. And then I'm just like, wait, no, he did say the power of Shazam came from the staff. And So it did confuse me very much in the beginning. So let's just get that out of the way. But to know or to understand that it was all working, and like they were like so powerful, yet they were just kids, and two of them aren't necessarily, or well, I'll say three of them aren't really kids. Billy Baxton is 18 that year, and I believe so would Freddie. Freddie would also be 18 that year, a month after Billy. So I'm like, those are 17, 18-year-olds. And I was like, why do they act like they're 14 and 15? Like teenagers.
Yeah.
I was just in 17-year-old, well, they're okay. So like at a certain age,
I think Freddie was acting his age.
I guess he was like he was super quirky. I don't know. At 16, like my consciousness caught up to me, or should I sort of say, like, I'm like, oh, I get it. I get things now. You know what I mean? Like that's one, oh, that's right. That's right. Because of this, because of that, just all of a sudden things started to piece together a lot faster than it did before I was 16. Like when I was 14, I was like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Once I hit 16, like everything, just like the reason why I failed like certain things back in my freshman year. I'm like, oh, that's why I didn't get it. Oh, that's why I didn't get it. And although after I got into college, I went back to my quirky freshman only because it was to be in like an elderly or older, like I was just like, it's exhausting to be that way. And it's actually more, even though it's more energetic or energy using, like being super quirky. But for me, it just felt right, right. But anyway, that was my kind of confusion. But I still loved it. I love the fact that they could all do what Sam could do. Although confused, I was still very happy with that. I was just like, oh, dope. Dane.
Well, I mean, yeah, and they all had, they just,
the Power Rangers with the Ranger rejects. And I was I thought, like when they were all helping everybody on the bridge, I kind of get that the town of Philly they have like a Spider-Man approach to this group of heroes. Remember how like the newspaper spot for Spider-Man, I think the Beagle.
Yeah.
That guy hated Spider-Man. He wanted.
Oh yeah.
He wanted to like dig Spider-Man into the ground, like publicly. And so that's what I feel like CNN gonna do with the Philly fiasco, or what are they called?
I think that's what it was.
Fiasco. I believe that's what they're called. Yeah. Oh, and it's how that it gave me that Spider-Man vibe. Like, oh wow, they don't really trust him. And I get it. I mean, they destroyed a lot of things in the process of saving things, which is great.
I mean,
true. And that I remember in, I believe, Avengers, was it? And Cap was all like, he's because he's like an old school dude. Like for him, damage is inevitable, right?
Yeah.
And Iron Man was like, no, we have to prevent that from happening. Somebody has to keep us in check, and for we, ourselves bring down the world, which makes sense. He's kind of like, he plays like a Batman card. Thinking about they were towards the people of Philly, you would think that maybe somebody would help them, but I don't think they get any help. Rather, a lot of the heroes do everything on the solo. They don't have like a mentor, like other than Batman. He has Alfred. Superman has the Fortress of Solitude. Flash has his colleagues. They're really not, but or actually everybody loves the Flash in his city, Central. They love him. Even the villains do. Like it's nuts. Like, I mean, although he stops them, he'll still have a drink with them. Talk to them as if they're regular people. I think that's what set Flash apart from Alatos. But for him here, it was really eye opening to see that this whole city didn't believe in him. But like
Right. Yeah, and
cities
I mean
don't trust kids.
that's kind of the thing though, right? Because they're kids, they have a kid mentality, their city or whatever, so they're not they don't really think as grown-ups, even though they look like grown have that thought process. I think the Mary was probably I think she was the oldest, right? She was already in college,
Yeah.
or she was trying to get into college. She didn't get into college because they're poor or whatever she said, but she was already graduated high school. So, but she was probably the most mature of the group, right? I wouldn't say the smartest, but the most mature. Although she did like
she was the most studious.
Yeah, I was gonna say, although she did like doing organic chemistry, that was her stress reliever.
Yeah, right.
Or whatever it was. I'm like, I don't know about that. I took organic chemistry. It definitely didn't relieve my stress. If anything, it just added to it. But
man, organic chemistry, huh? That's weird. It's like love. Organic,
if only. It's more of a hatred than anything else, but
a hatred.
But so this movie was pretty good. So just so you guys could know, the movie's about obviously Shazam and his Shazam family, and you get these 3 people who are the daughters of Atlas, which, if I am correct, isn't Atlas the person who holds the world
in Greek believe mythology? So.
Yeah, so
yes, Hercules tricks him.
Yeah. So that's right. He does trick him. He does trick him to hold the.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why he was pissed, but but
I get it, dude.
So they come and they're trying to revive the world of the god, I guess you can say. Because birds kind of took away all of the gods' powers, so they became not gods anymore and died off and whatever, so they became extinct. So yeah, that's the movie. You get to see them trying to live life, and Billy is freaking out because his family is kind of separating. They're all trying to do their own thing, and he's all about the family. By the way, when I was watching Ant-Man, right, they were in the trailer, or you know how sometimes they have those like, not the trailers themselves, but before the trailers they have like little games or trivia and stuff like that. While you're waiting. So in one of those, they were talking about Shazam and how there are 2 things in it that have to do with was it the writers or the director? I think it was something like, or the producers, something like that. And because the 2 of them one was for what was part of Annabelle, and the other one was part of Fast and the Furious. And so there's Easter eggs in the movie that has to do with their previous movies. And so so the Annabelle one, right? When Billy as
the scary
Shazam,
movie?
Yeah, Annabelle the doll, the creepy doll scary movie, right? When he was in the therapist or the pediatrics office telling his life, trying to do therapy with him, there was the Annabelle doll sitting in the corner. He's like, my head is like, why would you have that doll as a doll for little children? But whatever. He's like, I'm a pediatric doctor, right? And then like the camera pans to the little corner where all the toys are, and both Annabelles are sitting there, right? The Annabelle from the movie and the original, what Annabelle is based off of, which is what is that doll called? I forgot what it's called.
The Cabbage Patch doll.
Yeah, like the cabbage. It's not Cabbage Patch, but the close enough.
Red head. Yeah, like they had red hair. I saw the red one. I did not see the blonde one. I didn't see the blonde one.
You didn't see Annabelle sitting right next to her?
I didn't see the movie one. I saw the original one.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't see
it. That's the only one I saw.
They're literally sitting right next to each other at the table. I'm like, that's just creepy.
I think the red probably just sidetracked me from looking at anything else, because I didn't know there was other dolls. So yeah, I was definitely into that. But I was just like, when you said Annabelle the original, I was just like, oh, so that's what that was. Because I was just like, I was like, hey, that doll looks familiar. Yeah, okay. I was just like, I didn't watch the Annabelle movie,
Oh, I mean,
And I was like,
neither
and
I
I'm pretty
because
sure
I don't
she's
do dolls.
blonde in there. But then you
Uh-huh.
said the original. I was like, oh, that one's red. Okay, yeah, I saw that one.
No, they're both
Or
sitting right next to
brown,
each other.
maybe. Yeah, I should have seen it. I did not, though.
So,
I did not.
and then the other thing was, oh, and the Fast and the Furious, because Ellen, I don't know how to say her last name, Myron, Helen Myron,
You mean
the who,
Hespera?
yeah, Hespera, the actress
Yeah.
who played Hespera,
Mm-hmm.
she's also in the Fast and the Furious. So that scene where
Oh, that's
Shazam and
right.
her are sitting at the table, and he's like, "It's all about family." It was a reference to Fast and the Furious.
Whoa. You know what? I was wondering where she came from, like what movie she was in. And I was like, Fast and the Furious is awesome. Family is even better because Shaw. And I'm like, yo, this is what a coincidence. You know what I mean? What a
Yeah, so
coincidence.
I thought that was pretty funny. But those were the two Easter eggs. And I was like, at least, I mean, two of the Easter eggs that they talked about in the trivia thingy before watching Ant-Man.
You know, that makes sense for this movie to have that because of the kids. Like, you know, they're all up in the picture and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, makes sense.
So, did you like this movie more than Ant-Man? Probably not, because Ant-Man is your favorite, right? You said Ant-Man is your favorite.
Ant-Man is my favorite Marvel movie in the Marvel or like the standalones. Yeah, Ant-Man is my favorite. I would say they're about the same. They're both really good. I really enjoyed one is better than the other. Well, I could say that Ant-Man is better. He has like a ton of other stuff that he did with his character, whereas Zachary Levi as Shazam could do just that great a deal with the DC side. Because it already kind of with Ezra Miller as the Flash and all the things that's gone real life, you know, like, I don't know about, you know, I mean, I've followed Zachary Levi since he was on the show Chuck.
Oh, that was such a great show.
Oh man,
Loved every second
unbelievably
of that show.
done so well.
Yeah,
And you know, and so I can say that Zachary Levi has a pretty good shot at being one of my favorite standalones in DC. I mean, I can't say that I didn't like Aquaman. I mean, you know, got my boy Jason Momoa or my cousin. I don't know. We could be related. I have no idea. His but like he's that he's like he's almost like typecasted, right? So he has like a certain kind of flair in all of his movies, and so I really didn't see like an individuality outside of that. But then again, I don't really follow Aquaman the hero, except that it's cool to see a Hawaiian dude be the one that's, you know,
that plays
conquers the ocean, or you know, the ocean, but commands the ocean.
Yeah.
You know,
King of the
Sea. Yeah,
King of the Seas. Yeah,
he's dope. He's dope for sure. And you know, and then you think about it, like, so Anna, Wonder Woman,
yeah,
is half. I believe she's a half Amazonian.
Yes. Right.
Yeah. This, and then Harry, who is, but he's not the god of the sea like Poseidon. I don't know. Hopefully we see something, and I really do hope that we have Jason Momoa, Aquaman, because I would love to see the interactions that Shazam has with the other heroes. But I don't know. I've been reading around that Henry Cavill may not reprise his role as Superman, but I was like, sense. It won't make any sense because he has to communicate with both Affleck, Bill, because he's such a kid. He's such an immature member. And then you also Cyborg, and he's actually a college kid, so he's like a little bit older than Billy. I guess that can go to the issues I have with the movie. Okay, that's gonna go with the issues I have with the movie. Let's talk about some good stuff. What did you show specifically?
I enjoy Zachary. I think Zachary does a great job. Like you, I you know, when Chuck came out, I loved the show. The show was great. So when I found out that he was going to play Shazam in the first one, I was like, oh, that's beautiful. You know, so I really enjoyed him. I thought that was great. the movie as a whole was fun. I thought it was funny. You know, I enjoyed every second. I enjoyed the jokes. I don't think it was too stupid funny.
Uh-huh.
You know, like some other ones we've watched where I'm just like, okay, I get it. You're trying to be funny.
Right.
Just Zach does a great just his character really well. Because he still plays like once again looks like an adult child, even though he's
Mm-hmm.
18 in the second movie. He's 18 or whatever. But you know, he's still a child. He still has a child mentality, and I think Zachary does a great job of that through Shazam, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Shazam is like that anyways. Shazam doesn't become an mentally whenever he turns into Shazam. He still has Billy's mentality, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think they did a great job with that, and I enjoyed the movie. I thought I mean, just having Helen and Lucy, you know, in this movie as well as Daughters of Atlas and
Mm-hmm.
Rachel, right? I was like, oh dang, this is awesome. I love Lucy Liu. I think she's fantastic in pretty much
She's
everything she
beautiful.
does.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Mm-hmm.
I think they did a great job. I enjoyed it all for the part. There were I do have obviously, as always, I always have my negatives, and
No.
we'll get to that. We'll get
Okay.
to that. But yeah, I can't really complain about much right now. I thought
I
it was
really.
I thought it was fun. Oh, you know what I did enjoy? I enjoyed Darla, eh, right? When
Mm-hmm.
especially the unicorn scene was priceless. That was so good. I
Mm-hmm.
was dying, and I did enjoy like you. I was like, you were looking at all the creatures, right? All the monsters
Mm-hmm.
that were coming
Oh
out, and
yeah.
you're like, okay, that's an orc, or not an
Yeah.
orc. That's a troll, and that's a
Yeah.
cyclops.
That's a
And
minotaur. Yeah.
yeah, it's a minotaur. And then the flying one, I was like, what the heck are the flying ones? What did
Yeah.
you call those things? And then later we find out, like, oh, they're harpies. That's right. That's
Yeah.
what they are, harpies.
Yep.
I could not figure out what the flying ones were I'm like, what are these
Yeah. Me
creatures?
neither.
I recognize it. I know it's a creature of Greek mythology,
Mm-hmm.
but I couldn't for the life of me figure out what the name was. And then
Yep.
obviously in the credits it shows you what they were. I that because we see unicorns as these beautiful, majestic creatures,
Mm-hmm.
but in the movie they're just these dark, crusty, almost looking like just huge stallion, you know, beasts. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that's pretty cool. They're not the beautiful creatures that our world has come to believe unicorns to be, but they're
Right.
of evil descent. I don't know if they're evil, but they definitely
They're
don't like humans.
aggressive.
They
They're
hate
aggressive.
they hate
Yeah.
humans more than any other of the other monsters that were there. They hated humans the
Mm-hmm.
most.
Mm-hmm.
So that scene where she pulls out the Skittles, and she
Yeah.
goes boom, and she goes, eat the rainbow.
It
That
was
was
taste
so
the rainbow,
great.
like the
Oh,
Skittles phrase. Yeah.
taste the rainbow. That was so
Yeah.
good.
And she
That
said it
was,
like
and
whispering, and I was
yeah,
just like,
taste the rainbow. And then she said it again the second time, which wasn't as funny, but it was still pretty funny when they were writing. It's like, taste the rainbow, mother.
yeah. I just switched the scenes. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That was great.
Yeah, she did a great job. I thought it was funny. It was funny too when they said like ambrosia, and they're all like, "Oh, like sweets, candy," and then I instantly thought, "Oh, is she gonna give him candy?" And I was like, "Oh, there's candy around her neck, like the necklace."
Uh
I thought
huh.
there's sweet tarts, like the big ones,
Uh
and I was
huh.
like,
Uh-huh.
"Then that," and and apparently no in her pocket. And I'm like, okay. And then, yo, how is it when the freaking unicorn made noise and the other? I was like, I'd be tripping.
Yeah.
Absolutely tripping because they
Yeah.
all hate him. So what? One a distress call, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I liked it. I believed in it. And when the older sister Mary said, "Oh, I think we're gonna need more Skittles," yeah, that's exactly what I would have thought of because I was just like ambrosia, huh? I didn't even know what ambrosia was until someone said ambrosia, and then someone was like, "What is that? Like sweets?" I was like, "It's sweets." I'm like, I'm so glad that some
It's the nectar
writers,
of the gods.
yeah, a little. hints at what certain things are in a quick time. So you know, definitely kudos to David, or not David, Henry, for writing Henry Gayden and Chris.
Yeah.
So they were the ones that wrote this awesome script.
I also enjoyed the part. Well, the whole part with Victor, their foster dad. Where he's like, man, at the beginning, they're just, he's like, man, lightning just keeps hitting the house and I don't understand why. And then when he finds out that they got superpowers, and then they go Shazam, he's like, is that why there's lightning? I was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, bro,
finally figured it out, buddy.
Fun fact, I believe Victor, or Cooper Andrews, I found out he's a Polynesian man, I believe. Yeah.
Nice.
He's originally from New York, though, which you don't really see. You don't see a lot of Polynesians out from the East Coast, but if you out there. Yeah, his dad is Samoan and his Jewish.
Interesting.
What an interesting, yeah. No wonder he's from New York. The mom had her. Oh man. So it's funny that you brought that Victor up. Victor and
Rosa?
Rosa. Yeah. They both played great parents. Not gonna lie. Did. And the reason why I bring them up is because of the family aspect of the film. It was such a great. I teared up a couple times whenever they brought up family and brotherhood and abandoning. Well, I mean, I don't have. I have ran away from home before, and so in a sense, like, then I had an idea of how my brother felt when I did that. You know what I mean? So then I'm just like, oh geez, this is getting to me. This is getting to me. I was just like, this is superhero film. But obviously Shazam is growing as a person. Almost 18. Come on, man. Right. But I get it. His trauma was real. And then, then you see Freddie with his obnoxious older brother, who is Billy, and talking to Anthea, or Anne, who has an obnoxious older sister, who apparently.
Well, Hespera and Calypso.
Well, Calypso's not overbearing like Hespera was.
Well, yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah,
like Calypso is all about. She's an instigator. That's who she is. Yeah. But like Lucy Liu's character, she was bad.
Well, she was chaos, right? So
yeah. And oh my gosh! And I absolutely loved her power to zombies.
Oh, that was really good. That was really good, where she just whispered, and then they and that was just changing people. Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, because we watched. So just so you guys know, we watched the movie together, right? And I just remember you leaned in, and I was like, well, that's a new way of making zombies. And I'm like, for real, I was thinking the same thing. That was pretty dope.
that was the dopest and the scariest way, because you can't even get near them. Like, you can't fight them off. If they get even anywhere, they just need to whisper to you, and you're like, and then all of a sudden, be like, she say, she's all like 50% off at the grocery store. It's just something super just basic,
That's what it was. And that's why everybody was freaking out. They're like, 50% off eggs. Eggs are expensive right now.
Right? You never know what Calypso says.
Yeah. They got to get to the store.
Like, what did she say?
What were the guards doing? They were locking down the place. They're like, no, man, we got to get out.
We got it. Yeah, exactly. That's a great way of looking at that. See, Calypso is starting chaos, and they get to the store, and because it's 10% off, they're more zombies.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Yeah. But yeah, those are some great parts in the film, and I really can't say much. I didn't read the comics to watching the first.
Well, so apparently, the Sisters of Atlas are not part of the comics. They were created for the movie itself, so they have
that's cool.
No prior history at all. But did you know that Anne, what's her name?
Anthea.
Anthea. Did you know that Anne was Anthea? And when did you find out?
I found out when they were on the roof, so I didn't know in the beginning. But I thought
practically whenever they like she showed herself.
No, before she showed herself, it was when she was. she was acting a little suspicious after Freddie said he could introduce him.
Oh yeah. You're
and then that's where I started to put things together. I was like, sisters. I was like, two sisters. Doesn't necessarily mean two sisters. It could mean three sisters. This one could be a sister, but I don't know. I mean, like, you know, I didn't know Atlas had any more daughters, and so I'm like, PB, and then I'm like, but she acts way too innocent to be, you know, it could be the sisters. Yeah. But, you know, and so that's when I kind of figured it out. And then when she did use access powers, it made sense. I'm just like, okay, well.
There we go.
Yeah.
Questions answered. I figured she was one. So I thought only two sisters, right? Mm-hmm. I thought it was Calypso and Hesperia were the only two. Mm-hmm. So, but I remember leaning over to my wife because she also watched it with us, and I remember leaning over to her and going, "Oh, she's one of the sisters of Atlas." I think it was like right at the end of when they introduced when she meets Freddie in the hallway, and she's like, "Well, you're gonna walk me to class or whatever," right? I was like, "Oh, she's a sister of Atlas." But I thought like one of them transformed themselves into a younger girl, and was playing the part of a teenage girl, right? So I didn't think there was a third sister. So when the scene came where they all three of them were sitting, I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't expect that. I thought she was one of them. That's a good. So, because I mean, I'm like, they're goddesses, right? They can change their form. Zeus did it all the time.
Yes, he did.
Banged everything and everyone.
He has sunlight.
Yeah, man. So
no, I didn't think so when they were in school. I just a new character. I forgot actually a girl from Freddie, because he's all like, "Oh, I heard of so and so," and he's like, that's something else. You know, brush it off. And I'm like, I don't even remember. I was just, I don't remember that. Maybe there's someone from the first show. Definitely gonna have to watch it again. I'm probably gonna do that to watch online. That'd be nice to see. But anyway, let's talk about the things I like.
Okay. You want me to start, or you want to start?
I read this one. Like that, Mr. the teacher. You remember when Calypso was like 50% off at the grocery store, right on the roof? You know. Yeah, he died. He 100% died. He is gone. And they never went back to him. They didn't show that he came back to life. He died.
Yep. That was, I was upset about. I was like, really? Because I really thought that he was going to fall off and like Shazam was going to come and grab him or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Nope.
No, you heard the thud and everything.
Yep. He just died.
Oh my gosh.
That sucked. I was upset. I mean, I understand innocent people die. So, and you don't ever really see that in superhero movies most of the time. Like, you see people getting killed in like a big scene, but you never see people like so personally. I guess. Yeah,
it was super just like, dang, you know, like
it was. It hit. I was like, dang,
it hit real hard. It's like. They did my man dirty. Diedrich Bader.
Yeah, yeah, they did.
Or Bader. I don't know how to say his last name, but he does. He's hilarious, actually, in other films that he's a part of and other projects. But him dying was so left field to me, because I'm like, what the heck? I was like, this must be Batman, Ben Affleck's world or universe. Because I don't know if you remember when he was introduced in Batman versus Superman. He was killing people, or at least running them over. I don't know if they died or not, but in real life, he would have died, and he was shooting these people inside of his fighting scenes. So I'm pretty sure Batman be killing people when he's not supposed to. But then again, they never come back to show that they're dead. No, they got shot. And the same with the doctor. We don't know if he's dead. We don't know if he actually was able to get to the in time. You know. So
he fell from like a school built roof. I don't think an emergency room is going to help him much.
What if there was a bush? What if there was a tree?
You're right.
We didn't see him die. We heard a thud.
We heard one thud, not a bunch of boom. No, it's just boom.
Well, remember there was music too, so
I understand that you, in your heart, you want him to be
be
alive.
dead,
I get
Mr.
it.
Gecko.
I get it.
I was
So
like,
do
this
I.
dude did nothing
He
but
was really
worry
nice.
about his students. And I'm
Right.
like, why they did him dirty? And I did not like that.
You know, yeah. I agree completely. I get that. Yeah, that was a rough moment for sure. Other
Things that I didn't like. No, because I thought a lot of things should been the way it did. Like,
okay.
Especially between the wizard. When they were together, I felt like, oh man, I hope they don't kind of weird, like have faith in him or whatever. And they didn't really do that. They did, and it was, and when they did do something similar, just his name. He said, "You can do this, Freddy." Oh, simple, sweet, to the point. You know, like the writers. I swear that was great, because I don't like the "you can do this." Billy believed in you. That means I have to believe in you. No. That wizard was like, "Why did Billy choose you, dog?" He's like, "You're a child." Oh my gosh, like he was hating his decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
The
so
wizard definitely was.
yeah, and so every time he got his name wrong, you know, it was like Jeffrey, he would say, or whatever names he chose. And when he's just like, I don't know why, but that's dope. But so like, yeah, other than that, like I was gonna be mad had they done that, had hero-esque for Freddy, because Freddy is Shazam, you know, he a piece of him in my eyes. I was like, Shazam is Shazam. I've never seen all of the kids get Shazam. I've seen all the kids be one Shazam. I've seen that version of it before, where him and his brothers is one Shazam.
Oh.
Yeah, so when Shazam got hit, so like out of the body.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, I forgot which film it was.
So were they different parts in that? Is that why you thought?
Yeah.
No, like, because you said at the beginning that you thought each person had one of the specific powers of Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
Is that why you did that? Because was it like that was it a cartoon or was it?
It was an animation.
Comic?
Yeah, I believe animation. Yeah.
So in the animation, did they have separate powers themselves? Like let's say Mary had wisdom and so on and so forth. I can't name all of them.
They
or did they all have this? Did they also have the powers of Shazam?
Okay, so the 6, so with Billy included,
were so they weren't like they couldn't with on their own. They had to be fine.
Yeah,
they were freaking Mighty Morphin Rangers.
Megazord, the
Megazord situation going on.
It was weird. I forget which
with
one.
Our powers combined.
Actually, I don't know if it's the one where Superman and Shazam versus. It could be that one, or it could be.
That's one of the more recent ones. Didn't that come out like a couple of years ago?
No, just came out like maybe 2012.
The
11?
Superman versus Black Adam. Shazam versus Black Adam.
Shazam and Superman versus Black Adam was like 10 years ago. Yeah.
Wow. I am.
Or maybe further.
2010.
Yeah. I believe that 6 of them. I mean,
I need to watch the animated version movies because I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but if you actually the animated version of Black Adam doesn't even come close. Dude, The Rock's Black Adam is way too powerful, bro. It does not make sense. It does not make sense as how powerful he is. Wow. Because Black Adam realized, a hero. He's a realized. So that's why it's really see. And I like the fan people are doing The Rock.
Oh yeah, I didn't. Yeah. But so did you think that because so the last fighting scene where he's fighting the Lycan, well, I guess it wasn't a Lycan because it wasn't a zombie dragon, but it looked more
the
like
wood dragon, yeah,
it looked more like a zombie dragon than it did a wood dragon.
Mm-hmm.
But when he was burning him up or whatever, and he was like all in black.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, it's a reference to
That's what I
Black
thought.
Adam,
Mm-hmm.
right? I wouldn't know what that reference means, but I was like, he kind of looks like Black Adam now.
Yeah.
Except, his lightning bolt is more pristine than Black Adam's in the movies. So here's my thing. This is what irked me. This is my biggest irk. That everyone their mama knew Shazam. Me. Nobody should know who that Billy is Shazam. When one at the end and said, "Bye, Billy Batson," or whatever, right? I'm like, you do not know that Billy, right? And when the suicide people came and they, oh, Billy, it's like, you guys don't know he's Billy, right? This is and maybe I don't know if in the first movie they because it was like 2-3 years ago now. When did the Shazam 1 come out? Something like that, right? 2018 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it's more than 2 years ago. Then we're in 2023.
Yeah, because Shazam was this movie was supposed to come out last year, but because of COVID, they pushed it.
But and this is my reason why, because in the cartoon version, no one knew except for Batman. Batman was the only person who knew that Shazam was a child, right? And when his identity was revealed, and the Justice like, what? Wait, what? Shazam is a boy? It's a little kid? Mm-hmm. And everybody's freaking out. And then I think it was Wonder Woman that looks at Batman. He's like, why aren't you surprised? He's like, I already knew.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
I've always known. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, Batman would know. He is the greatest detective.
How much would you believe that it's because of Steve?
Steve the pen?
Yeah. Remember, whenever Steve wrote something, he would also write anything that they were saying.
Everything they were saying.
So if anybody else, hey, Billy.
Oh, because
he was sending it to Wonder Woman. So,
I see that.
So I can see that. There's that mistake. And Billy has made mistakes like that.
True.
So that is a possibility. Not saying that it is. Yeah. But you're absolutely right, because I thought the same thing. I was like, how did she know? She's no information gatherer.
Well, and how did the I forgot what they're called. The Justice
Society?
The Justice Society. Like, how did they know that he was Billy? I mean, one thing is to say, oh, Shazam. It's a whole different thing to call him by his real name.
Probably man knew.
Because
Amanda Waller and Batman armies.
Well, I mean, that's because Waller is just, she's not a good person. Anybody who says otherwise is crazy. Things for the greater good, if you want to call it that, but she ain't good, right?
Yeah, she's a troll.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I think though Zach did a great job as Shazam, and Asher did a great job as Billy. I think they did a great job. Actually, I argue that Billy acted more mature than Zach's Shazam, which is kind of weird. It sometimes didn't correlate with each other.
That's true, but one isn't.
I don't know what do you mean by that?
So, meaning that Billy is himself. He can be more mature, knows himself, but he's more immature because he's now. It's almost like he can be poor and rich, but he. So when he's Billy, he's like kind of like in that poor mindset where he's only limited to certain things. So he's be centered. Whereas when he is a Shazam, he is a magnificent hero that can do only good things, and he has powers. He can fly. He's free. So it kind of makes him think, I ain't got no worries. So
I mean,
that's what I think.
I get what you're saying. I guess
even though he's not broke,
because no. I get what you're saying because yeah. I agree with it. But I understand where you're going with, because he's someone else. Now he can act how he wants to act because he doesn't have to worry about other people seeing him a certain way. I get it. I don't know if I agree with it, but I get it.
I mean, that's the only, right? I mean, I'm just coming up with ways that just make sense to a human
Right. And so, but my argument is that because like the cartoon version, even though he was a kid, he always did a really great, an okay job of the secret. He was still a kid, and his kid side would always slip out every once in a while. But I think that was my biggest gripe was everybody knowing his name. But your whole letter situation with Steve would definitely clarify why Wonder Woman who would know that he's Billy.
Yeah.
and by the way, those letters were so great when Hesperia was reading the it's like
out loud.
What do you? Yeah, it said reading everything about it. I was busting up. I was like, that's too funny. That's too funny.
It was great. Yeah. No, like I definitely see that.
You guys want a Gatorade? You got any red left? It's like, what is Gatorade?
What is a red Gatorade?
Is it a weapon? I was dying. Like you did. That was a good scene. That was a good. Did you have anything else you didn't like?
Not really. I didn't. Well, there was one thing I didn't like that it might be minor to others. Okay, do you remember when Anthea lost her power?
Yeah.
So she did that thing, right?
Yeah.
And if you remember,
I know what you're going to go to. I know what you're going to go to.
It went in a straight line, right? And I'm like, sister Ann, like, slightly move to the left or right. I mean, you could easily move. You can move to the left and then do your axis thing again. I'll just like, come on, zigzag patterns. Let's do this,
100. I totally forgot about that, but I remember watching and going, why didn't you saw it coming? You literally stood there for like 10 seconds watching this thing come at you. Why didn't you just go, whoop? You didn't need to have super speed to avoid that shot.
Like, why in the world?
I completely agree. That didn't make any sense to me either. I was just like, I get it. It's to move the story along. Now she doesn't have any power, so now she can be with Freddy forever because she's human. But that was like, in the end, she still got her powers, and she stayed with Freddy. So
yeah. Well, he is too. So
true.
Which is kind of weird if you think about it. Like, who is Anne dating really? Is she dating the Chad version of Freddy, or Freddy?
Right.
Oh, jeez.
I thought it was also. I thought Rosa's little thing at the end. It's like, what is up with our sons and liking older women?
Yeah, right.
Because I was like, that's true. Freddy likes a woman who's 30,000 years old.
And
or no, was it 3,000?
6,000. She's 6,000. Anthea is 6,000. Yeah.
Anthea is 6,000 years old, and then you have
Diana, who I believe is like a couple hundred years old. She is.
I think she's somewhere in that range. Yeah. She's not young. I mean, she was in World War II.
Yep.
And that's
in the 1940s.
Almost 100. We're almost at 100 years. We're at like 80 something and 90 something years old.
We didn't even know how old she was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, my thing was I usually hate, but I was actually okay when Shazam died, when his character died. I thought that was great.
Oh, in the movie, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, in the movie when he died, sacrificing himself pretty much for everyone. I was like, truly, you could have ended it that way. Been a beautiful ending, because it was just like it's such an impactful moment. So bringing him back to life at the end of the movie, I was just like, I get it. You don't want him to die, and you made this movie with the idea that you're gonna make, but his death felt good to me. Like, it felt like it was like a proper hero's death,
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't sad that he died. I would be sad that Zachary wouldn't be able to play Shazam anymore, but I wasn't sad that Shazam died, because I was like, dang, that was a powerful moment. So it kind of bummed me.
He survived.
They brought him back to life.
You're so dark.
I'm just saying. I'm happy if they were going to make more movies.
So would it have been better if it was him coming back?
Wouldn't it have been better if it was a post scene? I can't. I don't know. Maybe.
Because then it's not as like the impactfulness of him coming back.
Now, you could have done, okay, this is actually, you know what? If it was a post scene, yes. And this is how I would have done that post scene. I would have cut to the scene of him in the grave, him around the tree. And then if you wanted Athena to still be the one to do it, her have the staff hit the ground. You don't see her. You only see her legs, her boots.
Mm-hmm.
And the grave is between her legs, right? So the grave is between her legs.
Mm-hmm.
She's standing there. You only at the bottom part, and she brings down the staff, and the staff just like does its magic thingy. Yeah. And then his arm. That would have been great.
Yeah,
that would have been a fantastic way to bring it back. I would have been like, dang.
Yeah, that's alive. What I thought. You know, I was like, it's not so much that he came back; it's how he came back.
You're right.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what it is.
That's kind of like
even if he was dead, I would still be okay with it.
That's kind of like how I thought the wizard was towards Freddy, and he wasn't. He did subtly too. He just said his name, and then I knew exactly that he believed in him at that point.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And he's the wizard. He already talks in that manner where he's like,
he's like, I know better than you because I'm super old.
Right.
I was like, yeah, he's also like around 6,000 years old, which is weird.
Yeah, but he's got magic.
He's got all this magic gods. So I guess powers are magic.
Apparently, that's what I was thinking too. Actually, it was like they took away all their magic. I'm like, but they're gods. Is it considered magic? Is that what they got? That's kind of messed up.
That's exactly what I thought. I was just like, is it magic? You know?
Wouldn't it just be powers?
But yeah, no, I was just like,
In that case, everybody's just got magic. Superman's got magic, right? He's got the magic ability of flying and using X-ray vision as powers.
Well, no, Superman's different.
How is it different?
He gets sun.
Well, because it's part of his being, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, no, only in front of an yellow sun.
Correct.
If he's a red sun,
I get it.
He's like any other human.
Right. I understand that, but it's because it's already. It's not like somebody gave him those powers, and only when the yellow sun appears that he has it. Right. He was born with that ability. It's just they just find out that if we're standing in front of a yellow sun, we get powerful. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But so it's part of his genetics, if we want to call it that. So wouldn't the gods' powers not be magic because they're part of them? It's a part of the like Zeus's ability to use lightning isn't magic. It wasn't given to him. He was born with that ability, right? That's what I'm just saying.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah, no, if they're innate, yeah. If they're magic, then everybody magic powers.
Give these gods the respect they deserve.
They do magic. They're not gods. They're mages, really.
They're mages.
Yeah,
who can live forever. Well, not anymore. Apparently not, because they all died eventually. But
apparently God too, and then they're especially Solomon, Hercules, even Zeus, which is weird.
Zeus is alive.
Zeus is very much alive. Yeah. And very different.
Somebody didn't tell the other person something.
Yeah, so hopefully change it up.
We'll see what happens. I mean, there was definitely was a part of me like, what is the point of even watching this movie? Because they're just blowing everything up and say, hey, we're just gonna start all over again. But now, I mean, they're so back and forth with everything that's happening in DC that I'm so confused. I've given up trying to follow them. On what is going to happen. I'm like, you know what? I'm just for you to figure out your lives. Let the dust settle, and then we can get back on track.
Well, for the grades of this film, I don't know why I'm hiccuping right now, but everybody's gonna have to listen to it. Ha no. For Shazam: Fury of the Gods, a middle B, only because of where James, I don't know what they're gonna character, and knowing that, it makes the movie a little different, because I'm just like, well, then does that mean everything that happened in this movie is irrelevant? Maybe.
I would think so, unless there's something else going on. But I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So that really changes up the movie for me, and especially with the Justice Society thing. I'm like, okay, so that ties him with him. because that's where Pierce Brosnan was, or he was as a Fate. He's also part of the Justice Society.
Yeah.
And so is Justin Centinel's character. I forgot. Was it Adam?
Adam. I thought it was just Adam.
No, Crusher.
Adam Crusher's his full name? I literally always.
No, Adam. Adam's the guy Adam is Adams. Like he's like glowing and everything like that.
Oh no, Adam Smasher.
Smasher, not Crusher. Oh.
I mean, he crushes, he smashes. It really is just technicalities.
Right. Adam Smasher, yeah. Noah Centineo. He has his and then Hawkman married. But if John Stewart, it may be different. But yeah, so anyways, I give it a B because of the possible change in what could happen. However, the movie was still amazing. The three sisters of Atlas, they tore it up. Lucy Liu, oh man, she's so gorgeous. She did great. And then of course, Hespera and Anthea, they did a great job as their characters, except for Hespera. I never took her for as evil, but she's someone similar to me, like when it comes to board gaming, where she's a stickler to the rules. So that's who she is to me in the end. So I'm like, okay, I get it. She's not evil. She just belongs.
Yeah.
And Anthea wants to follow the older sister. And then you have Calypso. But yeah, so that's why the dynamic of sisters are great. It's too bad that she lost both of her sisters. That kind of sucks. And then the family being tight, and then I thought it was kind of a cliche that Bill Rosa mom and Rosa wanting to be called mom by him. I was like, he's almost a grown man, But then, I get it. She probably, I believe they can't have children or something like that. So that's why she cares deeply of being called mom by everybody. And so I think that's really cool that he did say it. I just thought it was lame that he did say it. Kind of like, how you said, you thought it was cool that he died, and lame that he's not dead.
All right. I just realized one more thing. There was a part where Shazam was talking about how they could be sisters because their age differences were so vast. I'm like, that's siblings work though. I don't think they ever said they were triplets. I think they just said they were sisters. So that's right. That just popped in my head right now. It's like, what does their age have to do with their abilities of being siblings?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If you were going to make any comment about them siblings, is that there are three different races of people playing these three characters. But once again, they're goddesses, so who cares?
Yeah, I was like, what they look like is probably irrelevant to the human eye.
Yeah. So, but I also give it a B. Like I said, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was fun. I thought there were some good parts in it. The only thing that really irked me was, I don't know. I like when superheroes keep their identities secret. It's kind of the whole thing about superheroes, right? You don't want to know. It's like tease me a little bit longer before you reveal it.
Right. Give the mystery.
Yeah, but I thought it was good. I have no idea where the heck this is going. I honestly, there was a part of me that was going like, do I even want to watch this movie? And the only reason why I watched it is because I Zachary Lee much, and I enjoyed the first one, so I wanted to watch the second one. But I don't know where this is falling in the universe of DC and Gunn's universe, right? And so I'm just like, I have no idea what's going to happen. So B, I also agree, and yeah. That's where I'm going to leave that.
Yeah, see, so it makes sense. Good show, good movie, writing. I know there's a lot out there, so I don't know why people are hating. Probably those who watch and read the comics, probably. I mean, I get it. Like sometimes when you read a comic, you want everything that you've seen part of it. But, there's budgeting, and then there's agents that they're like, no, my actor can't do that. So there's all of that to also, so.
I partially agree with everything he just said.
But anyway, that's going to wrap up this episode. Don't forget to follow us on IG, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Anchor FM. You can listen to us every Friday on Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher around 6 p.m. And subscribe to our YouTube channel to check out our videos. And don't forget to comment.
Deuces.